What's up, guys? What is going on? Welcome to White Cost America, right here in the kitchen. That's what I'm talking about. In the kitchen, baby! Yay! So what's going on? I wish this thing will coming on so I can see myself, so it doesn't look like I'm just talking into a camera. But here we go. Let's skip survey. Bam! All right, there we go. So what's up, guys? What's going on? We have a special guest today. It's so awesome to finally get my mics in the mail today. And they put stickers on the magnets, so I could not charge them. I plugged them in, ready to go for the show, and ready to put them on, and they had stickers on them, so I could not charge it. So they're charging, so we're not going to have our speaker or our mics today. We got the old Florida American, Florida. I was about to say the Florida American flag. Well, the Florida flag. You know what I'm talking about? So yes, we have a special guest today, guys. Her name is Vivi. Vivi, here in the state of Florida. Been basically doing a drag show most of her life. So we're going to basically allow her to get on here and to explain what's going on and see her voice and figure out that side of what's going on, because we know we're going to go ahead and ask some questions. It's going to be a great show, and I'm very blessed to have you guys here to be able to watch this. I saw everybody in here chit-chatting. What's up, EK? What's up, Jimbo? What up, Sandy M? What is up? What is going on? What up, Dosho? What's good with you? And much more as well. Let me see. Kelly B's in the house. What up? What up? And then where else? Matt T, what's up? What's up? So yeah, so you guys are in here. If I missed you, sorry about that. But tonight we will be doing questions, and like I said in the chat, it's going to be respectable questions. Members, you guys get a free chat or a free question. Non-members, it's $10 for a question. So if you have a question, feel free to ask. But again, super chat or Zelle, or you can go over to the website whitecostamerica.com. So that will be happening. Nikki is finishing the questions up. We had them going, but then my dumbass washed them in the washer, so it just got wet and nasty, so we had to redo them. So the best thing we could do, I was just about to say, let's just wing it, but something like this, I get a little nervous because when I get to asking questions, you know how I get. Today is just going to be about questions and knowing what's happening on that side. So, Nick, are you almost done? Yeah. All right. Because I'm going to go ahead and read some of the questions. We do have an intro. We did put the intro up earlier. Try to blow that up. Hopefully you guys like that intro. Nikki did a wonderful job on that. Took her about a couple hours to do that today. We were trying to push it a little bit earlier, but had a hard time doing that. But hey, we got it up there. We got it taken care of. So hopefully you guys liked it. And then also, mods, if you can, keep the chat to a respectable chitter chat. Anybody with disrespect, please give them some warnings. We do not want to punch their lights out at first. So we're going to at least give a lot of people, the respect to be able to chit-chat in here and have their different opinions, because that is okay. Because it's okay to have different opinions, because that's where we have to start, is to unite one another, come together, and understand someone, and that, has a different outlook or a different, way of thinking. Because, hey, you know, this is America. America has all different types of people in this great country. So we have to accept. We don't have to personally accept because we have our own house and our own space. But they have the right and they have their freedom here in America as well. So it's going to be a good chit chat tonight, and hopefully you guys are ready because it ain't gonna be. I was about to start singing, but anyways, because I start shaking. Yay! Okay, Nick. Gosh, Nick, where you at?
Finishing going over it.
All right, going over it.
Yeah.
Jesus, criminal, it's a pamphlet.
It's a page.
So now I have to learn how to read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. That's gonna be the problem.
And that's going to be the problem. All right. All right. So basically, this is the intro right here. Luckily, you know, I get a little sweat when I get nervous. Luckily, we got a fan, you know, because this is you know, what do they call this shit? A studio in the kitchen, baby. You know what I mean? So we're doing it big, baby. You know what I mean? Shit. We're doing it big around this neck of the woods. All right. Thank you for being here and willing to answer hard questions.
All right. Well, you want to sit? So you want to introduce?
Oh yeah, I gotta introduce that person before I start talking. All right, Vivi, what's up? Let's go. Come on in to the show.
Welcome, Vivi.
Yes, sir. Ray, let's do it. All right, Vivi, what's going on? What's happening? What's
Not
going
a lot.
on?
How have you been doing?
Good, man. You know, just hanging out. You know, just interacting with my chat. You know, but here we go. So thank you for being here and willing to answer hard questions. We may have some different views, and then when I look at you, I just lost track because this thing. Ugh. All right. Anyways, bad views and opinions, but we have to talk about. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Things, even if we don't agree, it's the only way we will ever figure things out.
Yeah.
Simple. All right. So then let's probably bring it to. So basically, this is Vivi, and I want you to basically explain to the viewers, you know, your upcoming and where you are today and how it started. So,
Right.
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm Vivi Valor. I've been doing drag since 2015. It took me a little while to come out. I started more as a closet kind of person, and I have to say when I was 8 years old was when I had the feelings of being a little different. And I was into my neighbor girl. She did ballet. So I was like interested in seeing what her tutu felt like, truthfully. And what I did, it was very freeing. Feeling different and knowing in your own skin what it is to be yourself is definitely what it's all about. You know, you need to find the balance in yourself. Right? So, I did 2 shows 2 nights ago. Went pretty good. I make money. Views on certain things we're going to be talking about. I do just go over that and discuss. But, you know, where to go from there?
I'll tell you, when you turn that camera on, it's like another world, you know, because you got so many people watching. So, and it's being able to, you know, spill your beans out because there's so many people out there that's going to know, you know, who you are and, you know, what you stand for. But, I mean, I'll tell you, what's going on right now in the media and everybody and how they are basically pushing, you know, with the kid thing and with drag shows. And I mean, let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Jump in, baby. You know what I'm talking about? Jump in while the shit's deep. So, all right. So we're gonna. So the lawmakers in Florida, Arizona, and Texas and other states pose to ban drag shows.
Yeah.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has suggested he could order his state Child Protective Services to investigate investigate parents who have taken their children to drag shows. There's a state rep, Anthony Sababa, whatever.
Sababa.
Yeah, that guy. wants to make it a federal, or actually a felony. That would be federal.
Yeah, federal felony.
For parents that bring their kids to the show. How do you feel about that?
I don't think that it's right. I think that kids should have the right to say, first of all, their own opinion. You know, we always say that kids should be, seen and not heard. You know, I don't feel that that's appropriate. I think that kids should have the right to express themselves as much as adults do, but it needs to be supervised. And, you know, parents need to be parenting.
Facts. Parents need to step up and be parents. And if there is something like that, the parents need to, you know, speak to their children and stop throwing them out to the wolves. And I think that's where it all really comes down to it, is parents need to step up and be parents.
Yeah.
But still, you know, kids really it's not about me. But we're going to keep going and we're going to move. Should we be allowing kids to do that? To be dragged and to attend shows and stuff like that?
Yeah. Depending on the environment, like bar environment, definitely not.
Or strip clubs?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all adult, and there are people at the door who make sure that kids don't go in there. At a kid's show, a birthday or something, you know, I can see that being acceptable. As I've discussed with you, well, we're going to be talking about Drag Queen Story Hour, and that's a big one where you involve kids, and there are differing views over that as well. There's been some heat going on there, and my view with that is, again, kids just need to be able to express themselves and be kids. You know, as adults we think about those things, but you know, kids don't really think about that. It's I'm a kid, you know. It's not I'm this or that or that. You know, separatism comes from adulting, I think.
Right, and then that goes back to the parents again, bringing the parents in and allowing the parents to do their job. But then what we discussed earlier was, say if a parent is strict and because when I was growing up, it was my rules, my house, and you know, the old style way of growing up. So I know it's a new generation, but then what about that situation when, you know, a kid would say, hey, I'm this or that? I mean, again, I feel that the parents should listen and understand, but not, like, there should be no forcing of, you know, what's going on with this.
For sure.
But with the
talking about toddlers and tiaras and pageantry, a lot of those parents force their kids to do things, and they often face backlash for that. My own opinion on that is that, again, kids should be allowed to be kids. That's what it comes back to. I also had two forms of parenting where my dad was very much the same way that you grew up.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he'll never hear from me again.
So he basically disowned you.
I disowned him,
Okay.
and then he turned around and said, "Oh,
okay, fine.
Yeah,
okay.
something else."
Okay. So, but then, God, but that's great. I mean, yeah, I mean, I could see a lot of parents doing that, you know, because it's how they were raised and how they have that light on, you know. But man, there has to be an age limit. You know, there has to be an age limit to when it comes to shows, you know, in a environment of bars, strip clubs, or, I mean, because what we read up was, you know, kids were putting dollar bills, in panties or boy shorts or whatever they got on the show.
Panties.
Oh, they were panties? Okay, so they were panties.
Yeah.
You know, on
I don't
guys.
think that's appropriate.
It's not appropriate. Right. Okay. So then by you being in because you do shows and stuff like that, are shows like that? I mean, do you see that out there still going on? Or
I don't really see kids at my shows.
so you do mostly adult shows?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
There was one time I did a show for the elderly, and I've never had the opportunity to do Drag Queen Story Hour, but I definitely would.
Okay, and then you can give me some intel on how that works?
Yeah, for
okay,
sure.
Okay, because we definitely need to know, because, I mean, what Nikki brought up was, I mean, she brought up an article that there was actually that story time thing that it was first grade? First
it
grade?
was preschool and
Preschool, kindergarten, stuff like that, in schools for drag queens going into the school and saying, hey, listen, we're going to, I feel that's a little too forceful.
Right.
In a way.
I agree.
Okay, so instead of, I would say keep it out in somewhere else.
If you're even going to do it in school, put the people who want to be involved in a separate room than the others who don't, and just allow them to go about a regular school day.
Okay.
Yeah, just like I was saying, when I was in elementary school, they had a program called Banana Split.
Nikki's in the back now.
Yeah.
All right.
And Banana Split.
That's not God.
Banana Split is a program where children of divorced parents, go into that program, to help you cope. And I feel like it should, if it's going to be involved with children, it should be a program where kids that feel that way. But I feel older, because in my opinion, I feel like children that are under a certain age don't have a sexual orientation. They don't know whether they like boys or they like girls.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, so elementary school to me is a bit young.
It's too young.
Because give them time to think it out for themselves. I don't think an elementary kid would be, I don't know, maybe you had a different experience.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
And I don't know because I've never had that feeling.
And me too. So
but I do know at 8 years old, I played with Barbie dolls and didn't even think about what was between my legs, anybody else's legs, how,
Yeah,
even though I played baseball, I played with baseball when I was in elementary school. I did boy things. I was a tomboy. I also played with Barbie dolls,
Right.
But it's, I just never had that thought, and I just don't see how...
Is it because, are they pushing it in schools? Are they pushing it to the new world? Because back when we were in school, it wasn't such a big thing that it is now. Because I've noticed that, it's cool to be gay, it's cool to be this, or cool to be different. That could be pushing it to these kids.
Right.
So maybe it starts at government level.
And then in kindergarten and preschool, your mind is still developing, and you're molding a child. So if you're teaching them about gay and transgender, you're kind of teaching them to do that, even if they don't necessarily feel that way or wouldn't feel that way in the future. You know what I mean? So what is your thoughts on that?
Excuse me. So what I was saying about the Barbie was when I was playing with Barbies, I saw the life-size Barbie. I always wanted to wear the dress.
Always.
It was just, again, with the
Is that a fetish? Or is that...
I have to say, for me, honestly, for me, it is. It started as, like I said, a closeted fetish.
Okay.
But I became an entertainer because I'm into performing. And I don't see child sexualization as something that should be. Again, hypersexualizing children is wrong, but you can wear a dress, you can wear makeup. It's dress up, it's just fun.
Right.
I go out to have fun,
not the sexual side of it.
Right.
Okay.
That's behind closed doors.
Right.
I don't do
as
that,
it should be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Let's move to the next question. How should it be represented? How should we present ourselves?
Yep, ends there.
All you gotta do is wave your hand. I would have known.
Well, you looked at me.
Jesus, criminal. All right, so basically, let's repeat that. How should it be represented? How should we present ourselves? But then, where does that go to?
How should we present? How should it be represented? If we allow children to do this, if we allow drag queens to be there. Yeah, well, I was in a hurry writing them, so.
Yeah, okay.
But if it is allowed, how should it be presented, and how should we represent ourselves?
Control it.
Yeah.
It is allowed, so if we continue to allow it.
Right.
I have notes for that. Should we be allowing kids to do it? If beauty pageants, I said it, beauty pageants, if they exist for babies and girls, then what about the kids who know by the age of 8, like myself, what they like and want? For instance, if they want to do a drag pageant, the pageantry is much different than doing a bar show. why not let them do that?
Do a show.
Why not let them do a pageant?
It's like a beauty pageant.
Okay,
so it's
beauty,
not like
so
a
it's
show
like a
where
dress
they
show.
get money
Dress
and
up.
stuff like
Okay.
that.
So it brings out a different. But then again, then we're going back to what is it? Pedophilia, or people behind that, that could have that intent.
I get what you're saying.
Like, say we do put these kids out there, and then you have, somebody that has that fetish, has that creepiness to them.
Right.
We have to put up walls, you know what I mean, to be able to say, hold up.
Right.
Especially
But then,
these days, our kids.
yeah,
need
nowadays,
so much protecting.
because now there's light vans everywhere.
Oh, I know about
You know?
it. I have a friend who I knew through my old work, who was posting pictures of her daughter on Facebook. I said, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, that's wrong.
Yeah, a lot of that
Red
going
flags.
on.
Red
Yeah,
flags.
for sure. So, like I said about the hypersexualization of children, I don't think that it's right. Again, children doing what they want to do is one aspect. When you have an adult creeper who's going to be looking at them another way, that's something else. So why should we punish the children for doing what they want to do?
But then again, that's when we get to the fact of, remember how it was like, oh, do this, do that, control, scare. Well, it comes to that too, because a lot of people are scared in that factor. So it's like, why put ourselves or the kids out there right now? I mean, I think there should be an age limit. I would say, there has to be an age limit.
There has to be. That's why,
kid-wise.
Right. My opinion of an age limit starts 8 to 15.
Between there
Yeah,
is okay, or 15 and older should be okay.
No, like I came out at 8.
Should their parents be there?
Yes.
All the time?
Yes, parents should be involved.
Okay, and say if the parents aren't involved.
Parents who aren't involved in a kid's life shouldn't be there.
Shouldn't be a parent, shouldn't have access
Right.
to them. But then we have, like you were talking earlier, how queens step up and try to be their mother, their guide.
Right.
But then let's say if that queen has a fetish or any kind of craziness, I
That's
believe
another red flag.
Right, there has to be laws in effect. There has to be background checks. There has to be something to be able to make our kids safe.
Yeah.
I
believe that you're correct in that. I believe there should be an organization for the LGBTQ.
Like a safe place.
Exactly. Something for children who are mishomed.
Right. I mean, they have safe places all around besides when it comes to GP.
Yes, but
GPO?
they don't have it. It's not like a big brother.
Right.
Or a big sister.
Gotcha. But don't they have foster homes? I mean, somewhat, but not a...
Foster homes aren't a place to be.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I heard too.
I mean, for anybody.
Yeah, for anyone. Because even that, you have to have backgrounds on those.
Yeah.
So then even when it comes to that, there should be backgrounds even with drag.
There should be backgrounds.
Oh, before they mess with children.
Right.
If you're homing a child, there should be a background check.
Right.
If you're being a drag mother in the scene for adults who are learning, that's something else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that, okay.
But I think that teachers have background checks. If they go to a beauty pageant, I'm gonna have to look into this. Do those people, on a regular beauty pageant, do those people get their background checked? Because to me, anybody who has involvement with a child, no matter what if they want to dress up as a girl or not, they should have some kind of background check. Sure. At least just for pedophilia, it doesn't have to mean that you can.
Yeah,
we
don't want
record,
sexual predators near children.
Right, exactly.
So basically, I think this is the same right here. Same day drag is a fetish. Yeah. Oh wait. Some say. What did I say? Someday.
Same day.
Same day. Some say drag is a fetish, and shows are a hyper-sexualized performances.
Yeah.
And that is where the issue comes in, and about children attending. We don't allow kids in strip clubs or R-rated movies.
Right.
What's the difference?
Well, R-rated movies, we don't allow them in anyway. I am not like the person who sells tickets, so I can't tell you like
You
their
can't
procedure. But I'm sure they ask for your ID.
Yeah, it should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
And it's basically the strip club.
Oh, strip
Like
clubs.
Same
so what the
category.
question is kind of saying is, you know, people see drag shows as a
sexual.
sexualized, a hypersexualized performance or a sexual fetish.
It doesn't have to be.
But
Yeah.
It
you
is.
know, as long as kids like, because what's being seen on like Twitter and stuff, a video that surfaced and stuff that I think Brian was talking about earlier, is you know kids at the same kind of show putting dollar bills and the lady
bills.
had.
Oh.
I think you were actually the one who brought it up to us
Yes.
first. And
I
when
wasn't
was
the
looking
one
at it.
who brought up the one about the dollars in the panties.
We read up that, but it was the other one when the kid was.
No, it's the same. It's another one.
Yes,
but
it's
the
a
same
different
situation.
situation.
Yeah, two
Where
different-
she had just pasties.
Yeah.
But this is an actual show, not just a picture. So we might actually be talking about two different situations.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got one with the money, like a strip club, because it seems like it's the same aspect when you're putting money in. And you did mention something about you do shows and you accept dollars.
Yes.
So then technically that is an adult show.
Right.
So there should be no kids going to
18
that.
and older. Yeah.
It should be 18 or older.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. So these other ones that are happening and what's going on, and this one that's happening in, you know, Orlando that I'm going to go to and check that thing out and figure out if there's kids, because it did say all kids are welcome.
All ages.
Or all ages
I
are
looked
welcome.
into that also. It is hosted by RuPaul Queens, so I'm hopefully that
They're powerful
like I say,
enough
in
to
my notes
understand
that,
it.
that they're professional enough to be able to skew their demographics.
But what about if they are woke enough to be woke and push it on those kids like they're trying to do?
I really hope that they don't do that because that's unprofessional.
Correct.
Very,
And,
yeah.
I mean, that's what the government's doing, and they're definitely unprofessional. You know, my book. So, all right. So it's, and then it goes, what's the difference? You basically said it. It should be 18 and older, no matter what. But the story time is different.
Yeah.
But it should only be for kids that the adults bring or have a problem, you know, in that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But it should not be in schools. It should be at a library or a performance arts
voluntary program.
or a voluntary program.
Exactly. I actually have a cue card that has a lot of that. Case study media. A little girl at an everyone drag show touches a queen. The queen freezes in fear. Like in the video, you can literally see the queen drop her jaw. Like what just happened? You know, I wrote in here, where's the parents? And then I wrote, because I was talking to my mom about it, and something like that, the Queen was dressed in like a mermaid costume, so the child might be interested in the costume, but, you know, you have to watch, you have to supervise your children.
Mm-hmm. That's a big problem.
There was one where a queen spread her legs to the side, like to the right, the child was by the head.
Huh.
I don't see that as being.
Were they
that
just
big.
It was
positioning
a mistake.
themselves?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they blew that up.
Mhm.
Is that okay?
Yeah. 2 or 3 year old walks up to a queen to tip. I was wondering again, where's the parent, and is it okay if a child is going to tip a queen? Not to tuck it in their panties, but just to give them a
Give
dollar.
it to it.
Exactly. Is that okay?
But they
kind of
were-
like a street performer, if you look at it that
Yeah,
way,
if you look
know
at
what I
that,
mean?
yeah. But that's if they are out there at a street performing.
If they're dancing like a stripper, it's a different story.
Right.
Like there's
Right.
a line, like a fine line.
Right.
you
Yeah,
know,
there should
Yeah.
be that line.
One thing I was going to mention about that fine line is if you're not dressed in a one piece with, you know, things hanging out, you can be dressed like a princess and do a show. I've done Disney shows where I pretended to be a princess falling asleep. You know, you can do a child-friendly show. And again,
They
depending
should.
on
They should.
As long as
Yeah.
they're doing that.
for
Right,
sure,
right.
for sure. What else? I was talking about the drag kids. I don't want to throw any names out there, but I guess I'm going to.
Yeah, you have to.
Desmond is awesome. Lady Gaga, Susan B. Anthony, and the last one, I was questioning why this name. The name is Lactatia. that's like a lactating part. That's not appropriate for a child to have. I'm not going to say anything wrong because they've been facing a lot of backlash about what they've been going through, and that's not appropriate either. You need to be respectful to other people.
And respect and know the fact of what's really going on.
Mm-hmm.
Get in the nitty gritty and find out, because a
And no
lot
matter
of
what,
false.
it shouldn't be taken out on the child, because no matter what, whether it's what some people think it's a parenting issue or whether
Right.
it's an issue that the child has within themselves,
Right, I think there has to
be mean to children is wrong.
Yeah.
Right, you should never be. I mean, there has to be that line, and there has to be the parenting 101.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally think it's a good thing that the governor is doing that in the state. But when it comes to the federal or the felony, I think that's too much.
Yeah.
But getting a state represent or they call it a DCF worker. So basically, here in the state of Florida, allowing them to come in, investigate what's going on at that family home, for them to be able.
If it's a situation like
Right.
what's been
Going
video
on.
that's been
Right.
going around with
Yes.
like a strip club.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then my last one on that card was questioning. You might have drag kids, and we might find an acceptable middle ground with that. But what about young transgenders like Kim Petras?
I don't even know who she is. But,
She transitioned, I think, at like the age of 9 or 10.
and who allowed that to happen?
Her parents.
See, so then that's a parent issue
Yeah.
again. But even if I'm done talking. But still, I mean, it's the parents, man,
Mhm.
because when they're that young, the parent needs to step up and take control.
Here's my thing with transitioning. Like, that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah.
That's another
Because-
ballpark.
Yeah, but I am going to say my opinion on that. I did a lot of dumb stuff as
When
a
I was-
teenager
yeah.
that I regret and I would take back. And
Yeah.
you're not fully developed. You're not even fully developed at 18.
Right.
But you're damn sure not fully developed at 9.
Right.
Or 7 or 6 or
So
5.
in my
That's
opinion-
too young.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I can, even if I can accept my child, I can love my child,
Mhm.
but I am going to make them wait for, just like I wouldn't allow them to have a breast job, a boob
Mhm.
job. I wouldn't let my daughter do that
until they are older.
until they're above 18.
18.
Yeah.
So,
And I think any doctor should not, and they should go after doctors if
Yeah.
they perform stuff like that.
I just think that's a huge
red flag.
it's red flag, but it's a huge
That's a big
decision.
ass flag.
Mhm.
And a child, their minds are not fully, no matter what you might like and what you might want and what you might think, and you may end up being that way.
Right.
But allow
Doing
them
it
to
so
have
young.
that chance to really decide,
Mhm.
really think about it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you don't have to, accept your child. It
My
just
con-
means,
My controversial opinion on that is hormones kick in at the age of 13.
yeah.
So you have to know before then. And you have to be able to accept it.
Or
But-
control it
right,
somewhat.
right.
But then there's still
And then they
kids
also
in
say
it.
there's a lot of health side effects with the hormone pills that they give you to transition.
Mhm.
The transition.
And they
pills.
say it's not a reversible thing. So when
Right.
you make that decision,
It's a
It's a
made
final
you are,
decision.
you
right,
are
that's what I'm
stuck.
saying. At 13,
They're not going to know.
you're not making
Right,
great
right,
decisions.
Right, so
I
I
mean,
think something like that should definitely wait
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
So Nick, you only done a one-page questionnaire, so
Well, that's why
so
Vivi
yeah.
has notes.
Yeah,
All
that's a
right,
lot.
so run
yeah.
it,
Right,
man.
right.
We're gonna
Let
let
Vivi talk.
Vivi talk.
We've been talking.
Okay, so
Perfect.
drag culture, is it safe? Everyone events, theater shows, promo, public represent. Like we talked about the story time, and we talked about kids doing drag at birthday parties, and things like that should be okay as long as we're avoiding the adult environments, the bars, the strip clubs. Things like that are not for kids. Simply put.
All right, time out.
Yes.
1 second, guys. This is a intermission right here. I'm going to smoke a cigarette, so if you are affected by that, you should change the channel right now. But if not, hey, I'm going to smoke a cigarette. Go ahead.
Okay. So I had an experience. I had an opportunity. I knew a leisure director for a nursing center. I had an opportunity. I went in costume as Alice in Wonderland to read to elder women during their tea time. I read Alice in Wonderland to them. So, me coming in as Alice to read to elder women, that's definitely something completely different. Something that we should find to be okay.
Was that the older folks' home?
Yeah.
I would freaking laugh my ass off.
Right?
On some shit like
They
that.
loved it. They wanted me to come back.
I guarantee you, yeah. Because the older people would be like, "What the hell is this shit?"
Yeah. Oh, but they loved it.
No,
so
I
much.
think, yeah, you know, because it's a show, you know.
Mm-hmm. And again, talking about queens and children, professional queens can and should be able to gauge demographics. So you should be able to skew your language or skew your content to suit your surroundings. The risks of doing drag, same risk as anywhere else in public. You know, there's a lot going on in the media. I talk about that in here as well. If not harassed by the ignorant. There was a situation where I was in Ybor City of all places. They have 2 gay clubs and a bathhouse. So being there should be okay to do what I do. And I had someone in a car yell obscenities out the window. Better to have those obscenities than to have a bullet. You know?
True, and they were in the car, so they hauled ass.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So, and that's just words too. So in a way, it's like they can be ignorant, and you got to be this, you know, better person when it comes to situations like that. But there's some people in this world that aren't that powerful or that capable to be like, okay, that's just BS, or you know, they can end up, oh man, that just drove my night crazy, and go end up and going else, you know,
and doing stuff that they should.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Kids should never be allowed in an adult bar, like I said. I did a show where my niece had come down, and you know, she hadn't seen me in years. My sister wanted her to come to the show. I was told by the co-host she couldn't go to the show. Why? She's not 18 years old. Okay.
And that's here in the St. Pete area?
Exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There's a terrorist warning out. It's on the national. I think the National Terrorist Group.
Be careful. I know.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. Just say there's a bowler out, or a what is it? A red light. Red light.
There's a red light out, and it's for the LGBT and religious groups until 2023. So yeah, is it safe? I would say for the most part, but it can come to points where, you know, things happen.
But that could be anyone. You
yeah,
know?
It can be anyone.
Even us being, you know, Republican. I mean, they got us like, you know, red lighters. You know what I mean? And it's like, what they're doing is putting tags on people.
Mm-hmm.
There should be no tags on anybody.
Right.
We're all Americans.
Right.
And if you have a problem on making fun of someone, then you have that problem.
Exactly.
Because then you're making a problem on someone else.
Mm-hmm.
There should be no name callings. That's where everything has went to shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe 100% it's unity. If someone has somebody different, but see, now we're talking adults. We're not talking about kids anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because kids, there should always be that, you know, until you're older. But when it comes to adults, there should be no one making noise, making fun of people. You're going to do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
That's on you. You know, that's...
Yeah. That's why I say it mostly comes out when you come to adulthood. I ran into a lot of trouble in high school with people who just weren't accepting. So that's where I started noticing it. And then through adulthood, I've come to pick up a huge shell. And, you know, now it's in one ear and out the other. People can say what they want to say, but...
It built you.
Yeah.
It put that shell on you.
Right.
But now, right now, schools and the kids and nowadays, people are so offended by the smallest shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they didn't build that shell.
Right.
Like, when I was growing up, Nikki was growing up, you were growing up,
Yeah.
we were able to build our shells, you know, our shells, and take that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, nowadays in school, they're making them bitches.
It's because
I mean,
they're
not literally
insensitive.
bitches, but yeah, sensitive.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, it's crazy. You know.
So I was saying, again, about the beauty pageants. Why not for other people? Because there are 250,000 pageants for, I don't realize if it's for women or for girls or babies. It's just pageants for people. But there needs to be something for drag queens. Again, a safe space for kids to be kids. Controversy over how they dress. That's what shut down toddlers and tiaras. and like you said, the situation of pedophilia.
Right.
But that's not the kid's problem.
It's the parents' problem.
Exactly.
But then again, the kids should not be put in that position,
Right?
Because they are still young.
Yeah.
That can't eye that out because they're not old enough to eye that out. So it's like, but then that's when the parents come up and they're like, hold up, what's going on here?
And sorry.
Yeah,
but
you're good.
I was gonna say again, it's not just the parents' problem, but we talked a little bit about what kind of fetishes are okay, and I can say that a pedophilia fetish is definitely not okay.
That's a totally different ballgame. I mean, there's some shit out there that, I was like, holy God, did something just strike me and we were in hell or something? But I mean, it's whatever. But that's their business. That's who they want to do that. That's on them.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come in our home or our bubble, then there's a problem.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to the United States of America, there has to be laws. There has to be, people to understand certain things. I really do. I really do.
Again, for sure, bringing up an organization for people to have a big brother, big sister sort of situation. We talk about how there are straight camps, and I say that there shouldn't be straight camps or queer camps. We're not raising our again.
That's divided again.
Exactly. It's not like the parents are raising the children to be a certain way. You are what you are.
True.
I
mean, yeah. But then again, it is, I don't know, man.
I feel like they can be molded that way if it's pushed into them.
Yeah,
they can. They could.
If a parent wants attention and they want, and that's a good way to get it.
I've seen parents, oh my God, I'm putting them there, like on TV. Like there's a couple shows that they put them, like, what's her name? Boo Boo Baba or whatever her name is.
Honey Boo Boo.
Yeah. They put her ass in there and, made a shit show, but, it's shit like that. Parents do it just for fame or whatever.
And if they're taught that at such a young age, they're going to grow up to think that's what they're supposed to do.
And that it's okay.
Until they get older and realize, maybe they didn't want that.
And then
there is
stuck.
situations like that.
Yep.
My next thing has to do with something related to that. Kids dress up, teach girls dances, not stripper moves. I've seen some stuff online where the drag kids are doing some moves that are kind of questionable in opinion, but they should just be taught how to do
a simple dance.
Traditional dance.
Right.
Exactly.
Not pole dancing, not crazy. Nick, can you turn this down, please, so it's not going on in here?
Oh, it's that? I thought you already did that.
No, I didn't. I forgot. But yeah, there shouldn't be no pole dancing or any kind of stage performance for younger kids.
Right.
But when you're an adult, you can do whatever the hell you want, because you're an adult,
I mean, they could do a stage performance as long as they're not involved.
Like a play.
Like a play or traditional dance.
Right.
Teach them dance. Don't teach them to strip.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talked about that. And I'm gonna throw a RuPaul girl through a loop real quick. Violet Chachki and Lactatia met at DragCon. That was the one that Nikki talked about, where the drag queen was basically nude except for a pasty covering her bits. And
what'd you call it? Bits?
Bits.
Covered up her bits.
Covered her up her bitch.
Right. That's inappropriate.
Yes.
It was nice that they got to meet when they did, and I understand the situation. Violet Chachki did not know probably that Lactatia was going to be there, but again, you have to be able to
control
put yourself
situation.
to the side. Exactly. Control the situation.
And the parents should have, hey, hold up, she don't have clothes on, let's back it away a little bit. Back it away.
Okay, so I talked about parenting and how if parents can't accept the fact that their child wants to be a drag queen, maybe the child is eventually going to leave.
And that's where we were talking about earlier, where that's very hard, because then how are we going to push? So say if your child, okay, I have a child, what the hell did you just say? And then, you're not, no. And these are my rules. You're, no, hell no. And then you force them to stay here until they're older, and then you're saying that it's up to the kid to be able to leave. But then again, they're that kid again. You know, they're their child. They should have no say-so. The parents should have the say-so. But you're saying that what?
That there should be homes available for people who are
so the kids can run away from that parent.
I wouldn't consider it running away. I would consider it there needs to be a system. So say
what about help for that family?
Oh, for
and
sure.
Not separate the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely go through some therapy first and try to get. I don't want to try and say that the child is right or wrong, but I do want the parents to be able to go through therapy and understand what their kids are going through.
And why are they going through that? And maybe it could just be a thing. You know, it could just be like, oh yeah, I saw it on TV or some shit.
Yeah.
You know.
I was talking about how drag queens become like parents for those people, but there needs to be a whole system to go through. It takes amazing parents to allow your children to grow their wings. It's not child abuse if you let your children enjoy life.
Bingo. Child abuse. So let's say, how are we saying it, Nick? When it comes to the parents, and they're like, nope, not happening, but then see, it goes both ways, because you have the parent saying, no, you're not freaking going to that shit, and then making sure that they don't go to it, but then the kid goes anyways. Then we have a Florida governor, the kid shows up, boom, now the parents are in trouble. That's when we have to stand up and control our kids. But then say if the other foot's around and the parents are actually taking those kids to the show, then there's, I would think that would be a, family, or damn, we just said it. What is it, Nick? I was just talking about child abuse. There you go.
That's the word you're looking for.
Yeah, if they take them to an adult show, I have to say it's considered child abuse.
Right.
You can't take a kid that's that young to an adult show.
Right.
You shouldn't. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Taking a parent, like the way I grew up, I don't know if you grew up this way. We grew up probably very relatively similar. If there was a show, a drag show, and I was younger, I was living with my dad, and I said, hey, I want to go to this, he would never, ever take me. Why?
Right.
Because that's his ingrainment.
Because that's what he feels.
Right.
That it like, he could feel, higher power, it's a religion thing, or it could be, no, I'm a man, I don't want to see my son
what it's about.
Going, that way. And I can understand that, but then again, oh man, it's, wow.
It's a lot.
Yeah, because the kids shouldn't go there. I mean, you were 8 years old. Okay, let's say you were 8 and your dad said, you know what, go right ahead. What, I mean, you're now, so it would have never really changed. But say if the kid goes and be like, oh, I don't, hell no, what the hell?
Right.
Then it goes to teaching them, is that for me or is that not for me? In a way. But then, again, it can be vice versa.
I think that's a beneficial learning experience. It is learning whether it is or not for you. I mean, that's what it boils down to.
But then that goes down to not going to a strip club party, not going to a drag show that's sort of like that. We're talking only going to a
birthday party, a theater show.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, you can have a catwalk and just have kids getting together, playing dress up, and doing a catwalk. Again, if my dad caught me in women's clothes, he would probably yeah.
Maybe knock some sense in. No.
It wouldn't knock sense into me. No,
Smack you, shut up.
Yeah, like I said,
never would have changed.
We've pretty much severed ties.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then that destroys the family too, But then again, it's his strong ways, because that's how my parents are too.
Yeah.
That's their ways, and they were grown up that way, and I think that's where everything's going, because nowadays everything is fucking back-asswards. When back then it was family, love, and everything was
values.
Values, right. Now it seems like the values just went out the window. But yeah.
Like I said before, parents just need a parent.
Yep.
I have at the bottom of this card how we should present ourselves. I do want to say that the majority, I can't speak for everyone, I'm not everybody, but we do not condone sexual predators. Simply put.
And that's the background. That's where it needs to be into play. Because someone can say, yep, I'm not a sexual predator. Nope, nope, nope. And then, bam, there you go.
Yeah.
So there has to be a standard. A law when it comes to that.
Right. So I got the last card here.
Yep, go ahead.
Is freedom really free?
Oh, that's where, I see that. Is freedom really free?
Mm-hmm.
Amen on that one.
So, from Stonewall to Club Q recently, we're talking about the shootings, we're talking about, what you call it?
The red
lights.
Yeah, the red light.
Red lights.
The bullet.
Our freedom, unfortunately, comes with a price.
Yeah.
All of the red lights show a need for change. Fear of the unknown leads to anger, which leads to hate. Ignorant is not ignorant for those willing to educate themselves. People shouldn't have to commit suicide or feel excluded from any general or education events. Anything that is for young people, anything that is guided in a direction for everyone, such as the show that's going to be going on in Orlando.
Right.
Like I said, hopefully they keep the professionalism about them and set
boundaries. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm going to go there, and I'm definitely going to put them on blast, so they better follow their ass. Let's go. Bust their ass, follow their ass. Yeah, good one. Yeah.
And then after that, I say, straight parents make gay babies too. See, it's not something that you grow into. It's something that you're born with.
So is that sort of like a chemically imbalanced?
Exactly. I have to say that it might be suspected. I find that in my studies about people with autism, I'm autistic myself, and people with autism, we do suffer with persona.
What is that?
Basically, like where you feel
Different.
like you can be a different person.
So then autism is a sort of, that's all defects,
Mm-hmm.
and all, mental
Disorders?
Yeah, disorders
Yeah.
too. So you feel somewhat that all this, what's going on with, thinking you're a woman or thinking you're a man, could be a chemical imbalance.
I think it could be. In my research studies about people with autism, again, there are more of us who are LGBTQ.
There it is.
Yeah.
I think, because it's, no matter how I look at it, I'm going to look at it totally different. Just because of how I was raised and who I am. But I will be able to accept whoever they are
Mm-hmm.
and who they become or whatever. But still, people still to this day, no, it's not chemically imbalanced. It was just, what? You're different. There has to be something.
Yeah.
And that was good how you said that. It has to be. Somewhat.
I do feel like it can be pushed on, I think, with the way that it's being pushed these
Mm-hmm.
days, that in certain situations, some kids might think it's cool to be that way,
But I think
And
they'll
so when
grow out of it, though.
They will.
Yeah.
But that's why you don't want to introduce hormones and
Yep.
At
sex
such a young
change.
age.
Right?
At a young
Exactly.
age. Because then they make that decision, and then they are stuck.
Yeah, they can't go
Because
back.
there's a couple
That's just
people
too
that have
major.
been stuck, and it's like, what? And they look
Yeah.
down, and they're like,
Yeah.
like, it's gone.
Yeah, there's actually a song about that by the Dresden Dolls called Sex Changes.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. So look that up, people. All right, guys. So your cue card's good.
All good.
All right.
Yeah.
So what does drag queens readings to children accomplish? Why are people wanting this to be happening, or wanting this to be happening?
Yep, so you're talking about Drag Queen Story Time again.
Yeah.
A Drag Queen Story Hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Explain it to what is that drag queen story hour?
Yeah. So what that is basically, it happens at libraries or at the local pub. I'm not talking about a bar. I'm talking about a place to get coffee houses and stuff. So there are
Like a Starbucks.
Yeah.
Woke as shit. No,
like a week before the event, 2 weeks before the event, they'll put a post out. And if anyone wants to go, they're welcome to go to Drag Queen Story Time, Drag Queen Story Hour. And what happens at these events is the drag queens read books about hardships of parenting, the mixed races in parenting, or the same sexes in parenting. There are different kinds of books that they supply to these places so that they can do that. I think that's pretty much it. They do supply their own books.
So they're not pushing, what was it called, Nick? The sexual gender, or they're not pushing, like it's not the RTC.
They're not pushing their agenda.
Yeah, their agenda on people.
They're not. I have to say it's not really an agenda. Again,
acceptance, because you keep saying acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're teaching them that it's okay or feel comfortable what you want to be.
Right.
Okay.
That's more of it.
So it's more like that instead of forcing it down, because now we're talking about a coffee shop, not a school,
right,
where some are at a school that needs to be shut down. No transgenders or drag should be in a school environment.
But in the same token, when I was talking about schools,
unless it's drama class or
drama class, or if it's drag queens per se, you can separate the classroom, put kids that want to be there in a room by themselves, and let the kids who don't want to be there go about their school day.
But what do you think about this school? Yes, but it is interrupting their school. But then again, now we're going back to kids think it's cool. So then, what do you think all those kids are going to do? They're going to go in there,
right?
And figure, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, hello, and then where's the parents at all this?
Yeah.
Parents aren't in school.
No.
Parents can't be there at school time. So that's where I think school should be different. Totally off. That's what I believe.
Well, how about this? If parents aren't there, you can at least, like with corporal punishment, you can send home a form that says, "Hey, we're going to be doing this."
And you're more than welcome to show up.
Sign the paperwork.
If you want your kid
okay.
or something.
Signature, not a student signature. Well, nowadays kids can't even sign their own name. So I don't like that.
But again, what are they're teaching at the schools when they go there?
The
Acceptance
same
for
thing.
being gay? Because if that's the case, I'm just saying I feel like it's more like a sex ed thing, right?
Yes.
Where it shouldn't be introduced until, again, age.
Yeah,
comes
until
into
middle
play,
school, not elementary
Right.
school.
Again, there are different kinds of books. I don't know what they were reading to these kids.
Yeah.
They do have a book about what it's like to be drag, or what it's like to play dress up.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
So then this gets back to parenting.
Yeah.
If it's happening in school, parents need to show up at the school board and find out what they're reading in there.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, because they should know everything.
Parents should know
what's
everything.
happening.
Yeah.
Period. No matter what.
Like you said, sign a permission slip.
Yeah, and it has to be the parent signing it.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be the kid signing it. But that's when I said, "Oh, well, kids can't sign it anymore." Because I know back in the day when I was in school, oh, I'm not sending this to my parent.
Yeah.
And I signed my parents' name, go on a field trip. Now you know I'm gone. But nowadays, kids don't even know how to sign their name. I asked Tyler. I said, "Hey, man, I need you to sign your name." What? How do you sign that? What? He didn't know how to fucking sign his name.
Teach cursive.
They don't. Yeah,
so
no
I'm
cursive.
trying to teach them.
So yeah, we're working on that right now, but it's crazy, man. So you done with the cue cards?
Yep.
All right, guys. What we're gonna do is we're gonna ask questions. It is on your time right now. Like I said before, it's $10 super chat if you would like to put your question in there, and if you are a member of the WhiteHouseAmerica.com, you are free for your one question. So go ahead and start that if you would like.
I already put that in the chat.
Yep.
Okay, so we have Kelly B.
Kelly B, there you go. What up, Kelly?
How do we stop the children under 18 being taken into the drag shows that are not ran like those you are in?
Yeah. The shows that are under 18, I would have to say that you should have a parent with you. If the kids can go in, definitely have somebody at the door who says maybe you're a regular. If it's somebody new coming in, and I don't think that those kind of shows should have to be regulated.
As in what, the underage ones?
The ones that's just like a party.
Oh, okay.
Just playing dress up.
Because that would be at someone's house, that would be at some library, but then we don't want to have random kids, under the age. Because I know, I've seen it. I've seen kids out there in the cities living on the street. Parents don't give a shit where you're at, what you're doing, and they show up, no parent, And I think that's what has to happen.
Yeah.
People at the door need to be like, no, sorry, you're too young.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
You can't be here. Where's your parent?
Yeah.
Or you're too young without a parent. Where's your parent to come in? So that's what she was asking about. What,
how do you prevent them from
how do you
doing
prevent
it?
that?
Yeah.
So that would be
Well,
putting
at the
somebody
adult
door.
shows, they have somebody at the door.
So then, even with the kid, so you're saying at a kid show there should be nobody at the door
That there shouldn't have to be.
because they're doing it legit,
Exactly.
or they should be doing it legit.
Yeah.
Let's say if they're not doing it legit,
Then they
cops
should,
need to show up, shut
Yeah.
them down.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Parents should at least know what's going on.
All times, every time. All right, parents, step up. Parents can step up or step out. Step up, step out. All right, guys, come on now, members, let's go. Because I know $10 ain't that big ass. Come on now. Any questions? Let's go. Not any question, but you know what I mean. All right, anybody else, Nick? Or what are you chatting?
No, nobody else.
Nobody else? EK? Who else is a member in there? EK, Sandy?
EK said I have to read it again.
Alright, read it again, EK.
No, me. The question again.
Oh, you gotta read it again, Nick.
How do we stop the children under 18
We already answered that question.
being taken into the drag shows? Yeah, he said
Yeah.
that are not ran like those you're in. Yeah.
Right.
Okay, and that's
We need to shut them
we
down.
need to make sure that they have that age limit of 18.
Yeah.
Right.
And make sure they're checking for ID.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's a kids show, then I feel that the kids should be allowed in.
With
but
parents.
parents should always know what's going on.
Yeah. Or a note from the parent.
Yeah.
Not no chibi note either.
Right.
Seeing that's where it all comes down to, because we're having this discussion to be able, dude, there's so much being able to work together to be able to make, like, you can have these shows, you can do whatever the hell you want, but there has to be consequences and there has to be a set stone for these agendas,
Yeah.
and again, it's down to the parents. Parents, number one, take control of what the situation is. EK, where you at? Who else is in there? Sandy M, let's go. Come on. Question time. And if anybody else is in there would like to ask any question to Vivi, you are more than welcome. Come on. Send that super chat. Let's go. And if not, I think we might have covered it all. What's our time limit on there? You can check on this one.
Okay, good. Because I can't. 1 hour and 3 minutes.
Perfect. All right. So we're going to do another 15 minutes. If nobody is answering in 15 or asking any questions in 15 minutes, we will end the show. I think we hit it on the nail. We did pretty good. I think there's a lot of stuff that people just need to talk about. Be able to sit down, figure out what's best for this damn country.
Yeah.
Because people are going to have their own different ways, no matter what. There's all different types of people in this country. So for them to have a different way, that's okay. That's on you. But then when it comes to the kids, we have to have age limits.
Yeah.
Just like when, hey, we got to have term limits too, people. You know what I mean? Same shit.
Yeah.
Term limits, and, we can't have the same people and they're making $1 million when I ain't making shit. And, come on, anybody?
Sorry.
Well, I guess she's not.
EK says, well, it just came up.
Okay.
Brian, are you going to do a live show with Vivi?
Live show? We are live right now.
Hi.
Duh.
I guess some other live show.
What live show? What?
Well,
Was that EK?
Yeah.
Alright, great question. Alright, you lost me, but hey, we might do a ghost
All
hunt.
right, well,
but it
okay.
might break his heels.
Kelly's got another one, so.
Damn, Kelly. Hey.
Hey, she's the only one asking.
Yeah, exactly. And she's a member, so roll it.
If your child wanted to come out at 8 years old, would you help them yourself or have an outside therapist for them?
I would definitely start myself because I know what the lifestyle is like. therapy isn't number one. I've been with therapists, and I definitely know that someone who has first-hand experience and being able to show some guidance would be the way to go about it. Again, talking with Nikki and Brian, talking about hormone treatments and stuff, I would have to say that I would also want my child to wait. There are people like Kim Petras who do it so young, but there are also people who do it and then they decide later in life that that's not for them.
And you can't glue it back on.
Right.
You can't do shit. Man. But yeah, I mean, okay, let's say if you are not who you are and you are a normal parent, then it would be a little bit difficult because they're not in that lifestyle.
If I was a normal parent, like I said, I have a mental disability. If I was a normal parent, then I would have not had the experience with therapy that I've had to come to say that I would rather do it firsthand than trust my child with a therapist.
So you would still try it. That's what you're saying. You'll still talk to your kid first.
Even if I was, again, normal.
Really?
I'm talking.
I'm not just saying normal parent, like a parent.
Right.
Yeah, without being dressed up or being in that scene.
If I was a normal parent versus being a drag queen.
There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
If I wasn't a drag queen, having the same experience with therapy that I've had, I would still want first-hand experience with the kid.
Yeah.
Because I can figure it out and say, okay, well, we can try this and we can do these couple of things that you want to try and do. Not going to any adult shows, not doing any of that. But if you want to dress up and you want to see what it's like, I'm going to go ahead and let you do it.
Cool. That's a big step. I'll be like, hey, boy, let's go play some ballerina. No, shit. All right, boy, get them. No. I'm just, what the fuck? I'm like, God darn. But hey, I mean, but then again, it goes to different strokes for different folks, basically. I mean, that's just how you put it. I mean, it's just the way you're raised. And with this new world that's going on, people need to understand what's going on. I mean, it's all been pushed, and the agenda's all been pushed. The everything has been wishy-washy, but I feel it still goes to the parents, and the parents need to step up and be your parent and understand your child and understand, hey, listen, even if you feel that way, talk to them and say, listen, 2 more years, buddy, you're not, or woman or whatever, you're not going to be like that in 2 years.
Right.
And if you are, guess what? Then you prove me totally off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You have to be able to talk to your parents.
Right. Have to. And you have to be able to talk to your kids. And if you can't talk to your kids, then there's a problem that the parent messed up somewhere in the line, you know, or the kids don't trust their parents. But then again, you remember when we were talking about how kids these days are running their parents and the kids are doing whatever the hell they want.
Right.
That's wrong.
Right.
Because the whole shit's getting messed up because of that. When the parents would take control, and if they, but then it stops to, you know, back in the day I used to get a belt, a switch, you know, time, like they're nowadays it's time out, put a cone on your hat and stand in a corner.
Yeah, because they don't allow child abuse.
Right.
Yeah. In that sort of scenario, I have to say again, parents should understand their kids. Kids should understand their parents.
But you can't be friends with your kids, though.
I think you should have to be.
You have to be?
I think you should.
Oh, man, that's tough for me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I mean, I can understand when it comes to, you know, friends, as in, you can come talk to me about anything, but not as in, you know, because I've seen parents get best friends with their kids, and it's like, they run right over them.
Oh, no, you have to be able to discipline.
Right, that's what, yeah. Okay, so it's discipline 101. But they took that out. I don't even see myself in a corner. I'll be like, dude, I don't know what this corner hat and all this shit's working. I don't know how it works.
No, I think more along the lines of what I was just getting at is if your kid wants to do something that's not causing any harm.
Correct.
Let them
or
do it.
Staying in your household until further.
Right.
Okay. Got it.
So, by the way, EK was talking about doing a live drag show.
Me performing.
Yeah, and you performing with them is what I think you're saying.
I am not dressing up, guys. I'm sorry, it just does not happen. But we can go out and do Vivi's live. I mean, I don't see why not.
Right.
Go out there and check out what you do.
It is an adult show.
And it is an adult show, so... But you guys play music there, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, guess what, guys? It's only going to be a members-only video and on Rumble, so we just can't do ScrewTube on that video, but we'll definitely come out there and see what you're doing out there and, let all the viewers see what the hell you do, you know?
Another question.
But no, EK, I'm not fucking doing it, dude. Fucking guy. I don't think Nick will like it, or maybe she fucking will, and she'll start laughing and shit.
Right. So Kelly says, there may be other drag persons who may not agree with you in regards to what you shared tonight. How will you handle that?
Basically, everybody is individual.
Yep.
That's the cut and dry portion. I have to say that there are queens who won't understand things that other people have to say. You know, again, we're all individual. We all have our own opinion. That's what we talked about in there.
Because me and him, so I've known Vivi through Wyckoff's Haunted House. Yeah. You've been doing it for 5 years, 4 years. So he's been there since day one. She's been there since day one. He, she, same thing, whatever. Anyway, so she's been there since day one. So we know, and he knows where I stand, and I know where he stands. So in a way, this is why we can be able to have this conversation, because of the fact is, some of that far left, you can't talk to them. But I'm going to tell you, I would rather talk to someone that's, evenly minded somewhat, because you do have same values of right and wrong.
Yeah.
So basically I can say you're awake in a way, but he has been there. So that's why I wanted to bring this, bring him up here, or she up here, because the fact is, you've been there.
Yeah.
You have been in the freaking trenches.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought Vivi here, because of the fact is, if I went somewhere else, I'll be yanking them with a chain or something, and whatever else. But
I believe in loyalty and dedication. I've been working with Brian for a while. I'm extremely open-minded. I might be a liberal Democrat, but I'm liberal, which means I don't side with the extremists, and I don't side so much with the extreme right. But Brian and I can find our boundaries because we have, like he said, like-minded.
Yep. And that's where this country has to frickin' be, because what they've been doing is dividing everything and putting everybody at the fight, when really we just need to sit down and have a discussion and to be like, okay, you do your thing, I do my thing. Let's figure out the even grounds to make it better. Because everybody has to live here, and everybody has to get along with everyone. And if you don't, there's going to be a war. And I'm sorry to say it, I don't want that to happen. But it's sad to see it. But I think the government is doing that.
Yeah.
They're doing it to us, and I think the American people need to step up. No matter left or right, come up and meet your neighbor.
Yeah.
Understand your neighbor. Talk to them. You guys can still have a different agreement, but you know what? Just talk. I guarantee you might have one thing in common, and one thing we have in common is the haunted house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And some other things, but, but I had to bring you in here because the fact is there's so much talk about, what's going on with these kids and what they're pushing. And I really think you answered a lot of good questions and I'm very surprised that only a couple people came in and asked, but you know what? People must be broke, and that's understandable because this economy's shitty anyways. Yeah. But, hey, we did it. We brought it to you guys. Nick, where are you? Because I need to read the phone. Nick?
Shut up.
Wow. You shut up.
Jeez.
Where are you at?
I'm putting my phone in the charger.
Oh, it's dead?
Yes.
Any more questions? This is the last.
Last
No
chance.
more. Done.
EK said, does Vivi identify as he or she? What is the preferred pronoun?
Yeah, because you had me confused for a little bit.
Right.
I was calling you he, she,
Exactly.
it, that, them,
Yeah.
all that shit.
Okay, so the proper pronoun when you're talking about me as a person is they. When you're talking about my male side, I am male. When you're talking about my female side, my drag side, i.e. Vivi, I'm female. I'm gender fluid, which means I identify as both.
So that would be they.
Exactly.
Huh. Interesting. So, but then when I say they,
Mm-hmm.
then I'm talking about everybody.
They, them, there.
Right, but see, when I say, oh, they, and I'm pointing and I'm talking to you,
Mhm.
that would be wrong.
No,
Because,
you'd be right.
because I'm talking to they. They.
Oh, you're talking in general.
Right, if I
Um,
say they, I would have to say she, or I would have to say him
No, you
or
can't
her.
say he.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay.
Again, for me, it's about performance.
Gotcha.
So when I'm dressed as a woman,
You would say
I'm
she.
she.
Okay. But I know you as a he, so that would be weird for me.
Exactly.
But that's why I was like, he, she, he.
Right.
What? Shit.
Right.
Okay.
no, that's why you're them.
Yeah, them.
Exactly.
Okay. Perfect. Next.
Okay, and then we just have Kelly who says, thank you for joining us and taking her questions.
Yes, 100%.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. I mean, coming into the pot, and the kettle might be hot, but we need the answers, man. We need to find out. We need to, like I said, kick the horse or what did I say? Kick the horse or some shit.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, like you're sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Well, like Brian was saying, left, right, we need to come to agreements. You can have differing points of view, but at least speak them out because you might find someone who agrees with you.
Yeah, because we've talked all the time. And I was like, hey, this motherfucker lefters. And then we start talking, and you're like, no, I'm not that far gone. I'm like, okay, good. But there's some that are just so far, man. They're just so far down the rabbit hole. And it's sad to see it, but people need to understand that. And when you said life, like freedom, and this is what I'm having a problem with, is because my freedom is my freedom. Your freedom is your freedom.
Yeah.
But if everybody wants freedom, that means you have to have freedom for all, because that's everybody in this country. So when you're out there fighting for freedom, you're fighting for you, her, them, whatever the case may be. But we got people out there that are fighting, and they say freedom, but they're only picking what's best for them.
Right.
And I think those kind of people need to sit down with the left, the right, the ground, the under, and sit down and have a common ground, and to be able to say, hey, what can we do to fix it?
Yeah, again, in my cue cards, the ignorant versus the ignorant. The ignorant are willing to learn. The ignorant shut everything out.
Huh. Interesting. It's true. Facts. Facts. All right. Countdown. Where we at?
We are.
Countdown. We are done. If you guys.
An hour and 18 minutes.
Perfect. We are out of here. Much love to all you guys. Stay safe, be positive, and have fun. And we'll be back sometime soon, later. But anyways, much love, and thank you so much for coming. Definitely. Later.
Good night.
Later, guys. White House, America.
You should have had Vivi say it.